Saturday morning in the shops, getting close to 11 a.m. Sun is streaming in the back window, which is really inspiring. Been tack welding all the machinery dollies, so that's all done this week. And organizing some electrical supplies where we'd had a whole bunch of fuses stored with the fuse holders that go on DIN rail or different things that go in panels. And these really need to be in one of the bin drawers because fuses are consumable, and it's going to be really great to have those on hand when something goes in a machine to be able to see if we have the right fuse, because there's no sense in having inventory if it's not easily accessible, and yeah, it's a big deal. So I was thinking about social media, videos, not even so much, I don't know if I want to call it social media, but who we are, what community machinery does, the audience community machinery has, not to market to in that sense of who we want to provide value to, who we want to speak, have a conversation with, and what those conversations look like. So I made a whole point of who the audience, what our audience would want. Unless we know who we want to have a conversation with, it's hard to really outline what kind of content to create. So creating beautiful workplaces, that's a major one. Learning grows people, that's huge. Create systems. Now systems allow inviting, including others. There was someone who said, I want to work with my friends, and my husband makes fun of me because I hire all my friends, but who else would you really want to work with if you're going to spend all that time? So it's having machines that are simpler to run, processes that are simple to follow, products that are relevant to everyday people. So also having systems in place that show safety, quality, that those things are really very important. And when we let other people take lead, to have some stories, to have a song line as far as what safety or quality mean to our organization, how to assess projects that are a good fit. Anyhow, amnesty, that's another huge one where I've worked at places where there was zero tolerance for missing things on safety or if a project lost money. So really to have a community where it's safe to learn, safe to grow, and to have a lot of humble storytelling, because unless we're able to laugh about those things, it's not a safe place to learn and grow. And there's also got to be some kind of creative remedial discipline or atonement in terms of if we create unsafe working conditions for others, how are we going to be able to take a step back so we're not in a position of responsibility? So we're going to earn responsibility when we might feel there's not enough time, not enough money, not enough energy to take all the steps to really be safe or to go through a due diligence procedure. Anyhow, getting long-winded. So fostering understanding. This is a huge one in terms of, it seems like right now a lot of people are talking about how there's more divide between political parties and we're not really talking about fostering understanding. We're focusing on the divide instead of finding the understanding. Understanding where the other side is coming from. Not that they're not educated but just wonder, I wonder what belief systems they're brought up in. I wonder what times I've done similar things to that. And really looking at it in our own lives in order to really say, oh yeah, it's not that person's immature or greedy or whatever, but saying, oh, I was once like that. I knew it took some focus in order to change that and accept where others are at. Anyhow, fostering understanding, huge these days, any day. Profitability and communicating value. That's one we have been working on. Quick repairs and prototypes. So finding things around the shop working with certain materials like Unistrut, DIN rail and electrical panels, making things out of EMT conduit with magnets, drawer slides, quick things that everyday materials people have on hand, or even like our wood machinery organizers recently, things like that, where we can take the power in our own hands, find a way forward, being more resourceful. So, quick repairs and prototypes. Independence, resiliency, resourcefulness, that tied into some of the things I was talking about here, as far as seeing what materials, what things we have to work with on hand, who we know that call a friend, as far as who would know how to solve this engineering or repair thing we know nothing about. What books could we read? What library could we go to? What websites could we look at? So, next one, practice gratitude, pay it forward. So for me, hosting 4-H clubs, big deal, because 4-H really was a great time in my life, being able to do stuff like that. Working with apprentices, where I didn't always have people who were really diplomatic working with me as an apprentice and really understanding when I was falling asleep at work, when I wasn't really enthusiastic, when my attention span was short, when I doubted myself. Having those stories, going back here to humble storytelling. So that's really important in this pay it forward, practicing gratitude, small victory list. Every day I have my gratitude practice with my sister. If we had a morning meeting here or when there's other people that come in, it's really important to share gratitude, noting how other people support our journey. Lead and grow a community, being on social media, being on YouTube, being on Instagram. Not my number one comfortable place I gravitate towards, being in front of the camera. I don't mind it. There's a lot of things I've learned. So some of those steps are really important in leading, growing a community. This video, who knows if anyone ever watches it, it's not the point. It's following the process, building a personal connection. So that's the time you and I are spending right now, which hopefully we get to meet someday. Hopefully you get to say, oh, I remember when you were making all those videos that no one ever watched. It's fun times. Find and develop stakeholder relationships, inspire investment. I was watching this Mike Andes video last night about how Elon Musk only owns 20% of Tesla and Jeff Bezos only owns 9% of Amazon. Yet we see them as the big personality in the room that's making these things happen. But really, without them allowing others to come in from the outside and invest, but still maintain having created the systems to invite and include others. So things like the safety, the quality, the principle of the organization don't get lost, don't get watered down. Finding ways to do that with developing stakeholder relationships and inspire investment, which also allows to build out diversifying services and trying new things, as far as a lot of the companies that do well vertically integrate, or organizations in general, in terms of, doesn't matter if it's a charity having a for-profit partner or a for-profit partner having a charity partner. It doesn't matter if it's a forestry organization who makes paper and paper products, or if it's a marketing company that knows how to market those paper products. All those things can be very relatable. And when there's a nice flow through as far as controlling our own destiny and knowing how to build relationships quicker and smoother, all valuable things. So key thing to doing that is knowing how to communicate our story. How we came into being, as far as a lot of the things that drive me. When I was younger, there wasn't always that leadership. A lot of times I wanted to find answers, and I would talk with people and they would just have a blank look on their face. And feel like there's been so much wisdom, and I'm still working on progressing through more inspired thoughts, but going from just being curious to having a first step on a deeper understanding, to a second step, to a third step. It's like if I was driving across Canada, I wouldn't start on the East Coast, get to Ontario and say, oh, this isn't British Columbia, and turn back. There's a little more sense of how to move through the process and, yeah, how to enjoy seeing what's in our peripheral vision, what's going on out there. Anyhow, I'm rambling on. Thanks for watching. Really enjoyed providing a little update, practicing my words. Thanks for joining along. If you like and subscribe or comment, all that stuff would be helpful. But I'm just glad you stuck it out till the end. Thanks for being here with me.